Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mamoatoro Talks. So today's topic is on life after coronavirus. So we all know what's going on in the world with coronavirus. Funny thing is that at first it seems like it was only a Chinese problem. It was happening out there and it didn't have anything to do with us. But within a span of, I think, a month or even less, a lot has changed around us. And you might not feel the impact right now, but it's coming. It's coming big time. I can't even begin to, explain how much has happened in the last week. Yes, just 1 week, a lot has changed. And some of these changes are going to affect everyone globally. There's already global signs of global recession coming up, and it will take a long time to recover. So how do we adjust to the life after coronavirus? I know that a lot of places are already in self-quarantine mode, like entire countries are in lockdown, Italy, Spain. So this is just the beginning. So it depends on where you are, but I'm sure that everyone is feeling the effects of the coronavirus, the aftermath. You might want to be prepared. You can't just sit down and assume that it's not gonna get to you, because it will get to you. It is no longer a Chinese problem, but it is a problem that affects the whole world, the entire world. So as you go into quarantine mode, what are you doing as a family to embrace what is coming ahead, the hardships that are coming ahead? So assuming that you're already staying indoors with your family like you should, like the governments have advised, and the World Health Organization officials have advised, if you can work from home, are you working from home? So I know a lot of us are not prepared because most people live from paycheck to paycheck. So it's only possible that you don't even know where to start. But first things first. This virus has made it, it's made it impossible to think about anything else. For the first time in humanity, what is on everybody's mind is coronavirus. It does not matter what your race, your age, your region is. This is the one thing. It's a unifying factor around the world. So in my own opinion, I'm beginning to think about it as something like the earth needed healing. A lot has been going on around us. There was so much going on in the news. A lot of negative things have been going on around us. And I think the earth just needed to detox and to cleanse itself and to bring us back to factory settings. Like, stop thinking about yourself. All these things that we've been thinking about are not even important. What is important is that the whole entire humanity reunites. Back to basics. Back to basic. Right now, your life and those of the people around you is all that matters, and how to keep yourself safe. So it's amazing the way the things that we've been working so hard for and the things that have been causing us sleepless nights don't even matter anymore. So you might want to go back into self-care mode. How do you take care of yourself during this corona period? So I realized that every time you go on news, there's so much going on. You're bombarded with information, and it can be very worrying. Like, you don't even know where to start from. Every time you go online, it's corona, which is fair enough because we're being given information so that we learn how to live with what's going on. But as a family, how are you coping? So you will have to start with what you have. We need to know that a lot is going to change, like I've said before. Even in terms of families, there are a lot of families that were not together, and some might not even be together. Some families have been split apart by this virus because of the lockdowns. A lot of countries are shutting their borders and nobody's getting in, nobody's going out. And soon, if this continues like this, there's going to be total lockdown in most of these countries. So families will be stripped apart. So how will you cope? You have to realize that for me, what works is just to have that peace inside my heart, develop peace, and look out for the things that give you peace. Because however much we worry or we do not know what's going to happen, we are treading through the unknown. So we can only choose peace, because even if we worry, it's not going to change the situation. So this is what we're dealing with right now, and it is here to stay. And it might be a very long time before things change. So how are we going to deal? if you're in a position to be able to get back to your families, please come back home. I know a lot of fathers or mothers who left their families a long time ago, and they're in a position to get back to their families. You might need your family around. So how do you cope? Students are out of school, so you might need to do a lot of homeschooling. Is your family prepared? Have you sat your children down and explained to them what this virus means, not only for them, but for their entire life? Right now, have you worked on family budgets with whatever little you have, or in terms of food storage? Have you worked with what you have and advised your family how you're going to move forth, preparing meals? We cannot eat the way we used to eat before. You might need to look into that. You might want to prepare them that changes might come along in future. So things are going to change. So if you have a family of picky eaters, slowly start introducing them to other foods, like change one meal per day just to be prepared. It feels as if the whole world is going into war. It feels like, the Second World War, First World War, the Cold War. And for me, I call this, the Fourth World War. And so start introducing small little changes into your family routines, cutting down costs, like majorly cutting down costs, because a lot of people are going to lose their jobs if manufacturing is not taking place. As people are home, working from home, consumers are not walking in and buying products. Right now people are just on survival mode. How do I take care of myself and my family? So explain to your family. Homeschooling, introduce homeschooling if you've not been doing it already. Set aside times and some hours for study. Like when children wake up in the morning, what do they do? How many hours of study do they have per week? Start involving your children, because at some point you might not even be able to afford housekeepers. Are you that kind of family where your children are not been helping out? Start involving them in meal preparations. Do your children know how to prepare meals for themselves? As a parent, are you that kind of parent who sits down and relies on the housekeeper for everything? So this is your time. Write a timetable. How's a family timetable? Involve your children in meal preparations. Avoid wastage big time. We don't know what's coming for us. Especially in my country, Kenya, with the locust season that happened, we already had a pandemic going on before we've been bombarded with another one. So there's obviously going to be food shortages coming up. Wastage. Teach your family no more wastage. If you've not been doing that, this is the time. So what else apart from homeschooling? Meal preparations, prayer. For now, you really need God at this moment in life. If you've not been seeking God, this is the time. Go into prayer mode. Worship. Introduce family worship as a way of calming down people in your family. Listen to gospel music, soft, relaxing music. Every time, you feel down or you feel anxious, start listening to music that will calm you down. Involve your family in worship, family worship. If it was once a week, do it twice or 3 times a week. Or maybe you can start your day with family worship. When you wake up in the morning, you have your family around you, gather around, take 30 minutes to do your family worship and listen to gospel music. This is the time. Reorganize your family depending on how many you are in your family. So some of the things you can do, you can have, game nights where you gather together and play indoor games. If you do not have space to go outdoors, or you don't have, you don't have the luxury of having a compound indoors. Some of the things you can also do, involve your children in crafts. Are you good with your hands? Some things you can even learn through YouTube, the power of the internet. Involve your children, because children tend to get bored. Children cannot spend their entire life on a screen. And soon you might not even be able to afford cable or internet. So what are you going to do? If you can save some of your favorite channels online, or YouTube channels that children watch, save them, because you never know what's coming. So what else can you do as a family apart from playing boards? Like you can have, family game nights once a week. So whatever works for you. On Sundays, for me, what has worked, like the last week, we had an online service with my sister and her family. Gather together as a family. If you have the power of the internet, so strong, you can actually conduct church services as a family. So I hope you're keeping well, and we'll keep talking about this. Keep informing your family on what's happening on the ground. Reconnect with your family. This is the time to practice kindness and a lot of love, because we don't know how this is going to end, but this is just the beginning. For Mama Watoro, follow me for more videos and keep safe. Bye-bye.